What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So, as we've talked about a few times before here on the channel, being a teenager, specifically under the age of 18, can be really frustrating from a financial point of view. Depending on where you live, you probably can't open your own bank accounts, you can't get a loan of any kind because you can't enter a binding contract as a minor, and you can't get your own credit card in your name. But lucky for you, there are ways to navigate these tricky rules, and most importantly, ways that you can start implementing best practices into your life today so that you will be financially prepared for your future. So today we're going to take a look at the best credit card options for teenagers, whether that means you are a minor but still want to start building your credit history, or maybe you're over the age of 18 and you're looking at getting your first credit card. All right, let's jump right into it. So first of all, if you are under the age of 18, or even if you are 18 or 19 years old and you're already thinking about things like building up your credit history and getting your first credit card, then congratulations, because you are way ahead of the curve, and caring about these things now is going to have substantial positive impacts on your life in the future. Because a few years from now, when you go to buy your first car, maybe even buy your first home, or just rent an apartment, you are going to be perfectly financially prepared. A good credit score and credit history in general can help you in so many aspects of life, but you probably already know that if you clicked on this video. So how can you get a credit card and start building that credit history as a teenager? Well, again, we have to split this into two categories, because if you are currently 18 or older, then you can just go and open up a credit card in your name and start using that card for your regular everyday purchases and paying it off every month. Allow me to repeat that. Paying it off every month, and this will allow you to build a pretty great credit score in a relatively short period of time. Now, even though legally you are able to get a credit card over the age of 18, it's still going to be a little tricky just because you don't have any credit history. So if you are over 18 and you're just looking for a recommendation on the best credit card to get started with, then you can skip to this time in the video, but I'll tell you right now, my personal recommendation and my first credit card was the Discover It card. I'll talk more about that and some other options at the end of the video, but first, what about those of you who are under the age of 18 and cannot legally open up a credit card in your own name by yourself? Well, sadly, there isn't some magic loophole that is going to get you around this, and laws are laws, and they are there for a reason, as frustrating as that may be. However, you are not completely out of luck. What you may not know is you can actually build a credit history as a minor. Granted, this is very rare and uncommon, just because at that age, usually your parent or guardian is covering a significant portion of your expenses, not to mention the fact that you legally cannot take out any loans on your own because you can't enter a binding contract. However, you absolutely can have a credit history before turning 18. So if you're under the age of 18 and you want to have a credit card, then there's really only one serious option on the table, and that would be convincing your parent or guardian to make you what's called an authorized user on their credit card. Again, I know this might be a little bit of a bummer, and I get it, it can be frustrating, but let's walk through the advantages of you being an authorized user to help you navigate this tricky conversation. First of all, by having a parent or a guardian allow their minor to be an authorized user on their credit card, the teenager is able to learn how to handle credit responsibly, and the keyword here is responsibly. Typically, what ends up happening is a teenager goes off to college, and right around the same time they probably turn 18, and they usually sign up for the first credit card offer that is sent to them in the mail without a second thought. And in some really bad cases, that teenager can then dig themselves into tons and tons of credit card debt, and that is not what we want for you, and I'm assuming that that's not what your parent or guardian wants for you either. I know this probably doesn't apply to all of you if you are over the age of 18, obviously, because you can just get your own credit card, but this is good information to have because you never know when you might need it in the future. So by being an authorized user as a minor on your parent or guardian's card, you're learning how to use it responsibly and building that mentality that just because it is credit does not mean that you aren't spending money. I know that probably sounds ridiculous to some of you, but it is so important that you associate swiping your credit card with money coming out of your bank account, because you would be surprised how many people disassociate those two things. Now, secondly, using a credit card as an authorized user, even as a minor, will allow you to build your own credit history, and that is largely an unknown fact. No, you're not going to have some gleaming credit history that allows you to go get a mortgage the day you turn 18, but at least you will have some credit history on file, and when you're just getting started, every little bit helps. And what this means for your parent or guardian is when the time comes for you to go get that first car or even just rent your first apartment, they might not necessarily have to be a co-signer on that loan or lease agreement. Because if you yourself have already established a decent credit history, then you can probably do that on your own. Now, obviously, this is going to depend on the situation, but again, every little bit helps, and by being an authorized user on your parent or guardian's credit card, you are going to build that credit history for yourself regardless of your age, because again, yes, minors can have their own credit history. So in this situation, as far as the card you're going to get, it's really going to be whatever your parent or guardian feels is best for them and their spending habits. But honestly, it doesn't really matter, because the goal here is getting a credit card in your hands so that you can learn to use it responsibly. That means not buying crap that you don't need, but using it to purchase things that you would have been buying anyways, and simply putting them on a credit card and paying it off so that you can start to build that positive credit history. Again, I know that might be really frustrating, and it's probably a bit of a difficult conversation to navigate, but there are a number of benefits for you as the teenager and for your parent or guardian who is the owner of the account. So it doesn't hurt to just ask, and the worst they can say is no. Now, regardless of how you fare with everything that we just talked about, eventually you will be 18 years old and you can just go get your own credit card on your own, like we talked about earlier in the video. So what are the best options as far as your very first credit card on your own? Because your options are going to be very limited if you have limited or no credit history at all. Well, as I mentioned earlier in the video, my personal suggestion and my very first credit card was the Discover It card. Now, they have a few different versions of this card, including the regular cashback card and a student option as well, but they are essentially the same thing. This is currently going to give you 5% cashback on rolling categories, 1% cashback on everything else, plus they are going to match all of the cashback that you earn in your first year. So if you earn $300 in cashback in your first year, then at the end of that year, they're going to give you another $300. And perhaps the best part about this card is it is pretty easy to get even if you have no credit history, and most importantly, there is absolutely no annual fee. Now, I have done an entire review on the Discover It card on my channel, so definitely check that out if you want a more in-depth look at that card. Now, the second great option for a beginner or more intermediate card is actually going to be the SoFi credit card. This is actually the newest offering from SoFi, and this card is currently going to give you 2% unlimited cashback on everything, and the best part is that cashback can be directly redeemed into your SoFi Invest account, directly towards your SoFi loans, including student loans, or just put right into your SoFi Money account for cash. And basically, the way this works is for every dollar you spend, you're going to earn points, and then you can redeem those points for cash back into whatever account you want it to be put towards. And the fact that you're able to immediately invest that cash back, put it towards your debt, or even just take the cash if you want to, is one of the best selling points. And of course, there's also no annual fee as well. Again, I have done a whole review on the SoFi credit card, so definitely check that out. And I also do want to mention here that I, to this day, still have a Discover It card and the SoFi credit card. So I'm not just suggesting things that I have no experience with. I do personally use both of these cards in my day-to-day life. Now, there are definitely other options on the market currently, and it might be a little more difficult to qualify for some of them, but again, the worst thing that can happen is you apply, get denied, and move on to the next option. So I hope this video was helpful in showing you the different options that you have as a minor when it comes to building your own credit history and getting a credit card and the best credit card options when you finally do turn 18 and you're ready to get your own credit card in your name. So let me know down in the comment section below your favorite beginner credit card and what credit cards you would have added to this list. As always, if you did enjoy this content, it would mean a lot to me if you would hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who you think could get value out of this content as well. And as always, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.